Leading high-performing teams, high will and high skill. Leading high-performing teams. We've learned about the 4 phases of skill and will from the work of Thomas Erickson and Surrounded by Bad Bosses and Lazy Employees. A quick revision of these for those who haven't had this learning. The motivation and skills of people go through phases, and effective leaders understand these phases. They recognise them and then add the injection needed to move folk into or keep them in a quadrant. So there's high will and low skill, the happy beginner who is oblivious to what might go wrong. You know, I'm new, I'm excited, enthusiastic, I don't know what I'm doing, but tell me and teach me. You know, it's all about commitment and competency and putting those two together. You've got, you know, low skill and low will, and we'll get into that a little bit more, high skill and high will. And then high will and high skill, which is the ultimate, the high performance zone, where we want that high performance team to be. These phases are not timed, and there is not a magic factor or formula to moving people from one to the next. Let's jump into each of them. So the first phase there, a vast majority of new beginners to any company or any team begin in phase 1. High will and low skill. I may bring skills with me, but I don't have the contextual understanding to really show these off with independence and ease. I am, however, incredibly motivated, willing, eager, open and receptive. For the most part, I may have reservations, but I'm unlikely to show these at the beginning. The key is to capture this willingness and to assess the skills that I have. Learn about your team. Who are they? What do they value? What do they know? What do they think they need? Spend time observing and listening and modelling. Feed in interesting ideas and don't judge. And then we move into phase 2, low skill and low will. Well, we almost always end up here at some time. Low will and low skill. I might not actually be low in skill, but I may appear so. The skilled leader observes this phase and works with quiet and coaching wisdom. 6 to 10 weeks in a new role and I can feel a little disheartened. All the things that worked at home, the things I thought I knew, the things that worked before, just don't work. Maybe I should have stayed in my old job. This feels hard. And the leader steps in. They get close. They model quietly, teach a single skill, show their team that they are there for them. This is where the acceleration can, but may not always, happen. And then we move into phase 3, high skill, low will. And a learner with a mindset to move can spend time in phase 2 and move back to phase 1, where they might regain their motivation and start learning again. May not necessarily show the skills straight off, but there is a sense of learning. From here, they could excel and move directly into phase 4, high will and high skill, pushing into a high performance mode. However, some stay in 2, not feeling motivated and learn skills. They turn up, do the learning, move in their practice, but actually aren't motivated at all. They move into phase 3, high skill, low will. And if I'm left too long in this phase, I'm dangerous. I either become complacent or unsettled or belligerent or even toxic. I'm skilled. I might feel left out of decisions or don't have the buy-in to the vision. Leadership may not be giving me the direction I need. And worse still, I don't believe in the conversation stuff at all. I don't believe in the leadership at all. I'm frustrated and want more. Leading this is difficult conversation stuff. As leaders, we are quick to judge and call it incompetency. And in some parts of the world, highly skilled practitioners fall into this at around week 10, just as probation decisions for new jobs are being made, 3 months in. These decisions can make or break a contract and a career, and leaders have to make a judgment call. But does this include an honest assessment of the leader's level of support and input into that person in their development. As a leader, think, have I had conversations that need to be had? Have I modelled? Have I taught, coached and listened? Judge later, coach first. And finally, phase 4, what this is all about, leading high-performing teams, leading high performance, high skill and high will. Let's talk the All Blacks again. Getting into phase 4 doesn't mean that I will actually stay here. The team players in this phase need freedom, consultation, challenge, strategic input, opportunities, growth, ideation, and loads of collegial connection with others performing in that same level, the same league, the same realm. If I am coached right, I will go beyond what is expected of me. If not, it's easy to find me directionless and falling into phase 3. I know we've talked rugby recently. It is a great scenario to look at leadership. Why not? They have the highest performing for decades. James Kerr in Legacy will give us insights to this in the upcoming book review. We will uncover a perspective as to why they are high performing and how they got there. Perhaps will and skill, competence and commitment are the keys to looking at why they aren't performing too. It applies to leaders in the job as well. It's not just an employee lens. Learning from failure is hard. Our emotions and egos get in the way. Our self-protection mode comes in, as can denial, pity, fight and flight, autopilots. This is normal. It can be raw and it is genuine. It is real. But acknowledging the reality of where you and the team is at the time, is the first step to growth, to change, to coming back again. Look at yourself with your rose-tinted glasses off. Or are you brave and have you got someone you trust to listen to their perspective on it all? We talk growth mindset, and this is needed most in times of adversity and challenge. High-performing teams need freedom, consultation, challenge, strategic input, opportunities, growth, challenge, ideation, and collegial connection. I have to say it again and again and again. So from here, draw the quadrants, label them, and then begin to plot your team. And if you are brave enough, plot yourself too. Dive back into that review surrounded by bad bosses and lazy employees on the 30th of April and have another look at the work from Thomas Erickson. But if you are about building your team and growing high-performing teams, these quadrants is where to start.